Have you ever felt like you poured your heart and soul into a relationship only to be met with doubt and hurt? How many times have you wondered if the person on the other side genuinely cared or was skillfully playing a part in your life? Were those kind actions and sweet words just a facade, concealing ulterior motives and deception? There are moments in life when we realize that not everyone we open up to deserves our trust. And when the truth is revealed, the feeling of betrayal can be as painful as a shock. But did you know there are clear signs to identify deceitful people before it's too late? The harsh reality is that life often presents us with insincere individuals and relationships built on exploitation and lies. These people not only damage our self-esteem, but also weaken our faith in ourselves and others. Are you currently in such a relationship? And do you know how to protect yourself from the turbulent waves of deception? I believe that understanding the signs of deception not only helps us protect ourselves, but also maintains inner peace, regardless of the circumstances. And importantly, how Stoic philosophy helps us confront deception, maintain a strong mind, and develop inner strength in these challenging situations. In this video, I will share with you 7 clear signs to identify deceitful people, helping you see through relationships and maintain self-control in this world of deceit. We will navigate the thorny path of deception, regain inner strength, and build genuine, lasting relationships. Before delving into each sign, I want to share a very personal story. During my university years, I had a friend whom I always trusted and considered my confidant. She always seemed to care about me, helping me with everything, making me think this friendship would last forever. But when I faced difficulties in my love life, she avoided me, didn't answer my messages or calls, giving vague excuses. The pain and disappointment made me question the sincerity of this friendship. And then, the truth was revealed. She not only abandoned me during a difficult time, but also shared my secrets with others, inflicting a wound that took a long time to heal. This experience motivated me to delve deeper into how to identify deception in relationships and learn to protect myself from such hurt. 7 signs that someone is not sincere. They are never there when you need them. This is the clearest sign of insincerity and can be one of the most profound hurts we face in relationships. A true friend will not only be present during happy moments, but will always be there when you face difficulties, setbacks, or pain. This isn't simply about them dedicating time to you, but genuine care shown through concrete actions. Unlike empty promises, a true friend will be willing to listen, share, and help you overcome challenges, big or small. They will understand that true friendship isn't about convenient moments, but the difficult times when you need a shoulder to lean on. A deceitful friend, however, only appears when they need your help, or when your presence benefits them. When things get tough, or when you need them most, they disappear, citing busyness, lack of time, or some other excuse to justify their indifference. Stoicism reminds us that sincerity cannot be faked. Someone who genuinely cares will find a way to make time for you, no matter how busy they are. This philosophy also teaches us about accepting what we cannot control. We cannot force someone to be there for us, but we can choose not to be affected by their insincerity. Stoicism helps us realize that when others are not present when we need them, it's not our fault. Don't let these people overshadow your self-worth. Stay firm in your self-respect and don't let these relationships drag you down. In reality, when someone only comes to you when they need something, it's a clear sign of exploitation. Such relationships cannot be sustainable. We cannot live in a world of deception where connections with others are based solely on personal gain. We need to learn to correctly assess these relationships and accept that not everyone deserves our trust. Stoicism teaches us that instead of continuing to rely on insincere people, we should develop inner strength and independence. This self-reliance doesn't mean rejecting all help, but the ability to recognize genuine help from exploitation. When we don't place too much hope in others, we won't be hurt when they don't reciprocate as expected. I've witnessed countless cases of friends appearing only when they need to borrow money, ask for favors, and then disappear without a trace. These moments are not only disappointing, but also deliver powerful shocks to our faith in humanity. This makes us realize that deception in relationships never brings anything good. These relationships only increase stress and hurt, while failing to provide the genuine support you deserve. Therefore, set clear boundaries, protect yourself from people who only approach you when it benefits them, and don't let these relationships erode your value. We have the right to receive sincerity, and deception is not something we have to endure. Stoic philosophy gives us the freedom to live independently without depending on the acceptance or existence of fake relationships. When you can clearly see the deception and not let it affect you, you have achieved true strength. They never initiate contact. Relationships are a two-way street where both parties share responsibility and mutual concern. When you're always the one initiating contact and the other person only responds passively, it's a clear sign of disrespect and lack of care. A genuine relationship cannot rely solely on the sacrifice of one party. If you're always the one calling, texting, or suggesting meetings without ever receiving initiative from them, you'll notice a clear imbalance. This is a fundamental sign that they don't value you or the relationship. Initiative in communication demonstrates care and appreciation. A true friend will not let the relationship exist solely on one-sided effort. If they genuinely care, they will proactively seek to maintain contact, showing that they want to preserve the relationship regardless of any benefits. When this initiative is absent, you will feel lonely in your own relationship, and that only proves one thing: they don't truly value you. I once had a friend with whom I was always the one initiating contact. Initially, I didn't realize this, but gradually I felt exhausted from maintaining a one-sided relationship. Every time I texted or called, I always had to wait for a vague response, sometimes silence. After a long time, I realized I was wasting too much time and energy on a relationship without adequate reciprocation. This relationship didn't bring me any value, and eventually, I decided to let it go. Stoicism teaches us about acceptance and understanding that not all relationships are worth maintaining. While we may not be able to control the actions of others, we have the right to choose how we react and protect ourselves from those who don't bring positive value into our lives. Relationships aren't a race to prove care, but a natural exchange between two people. Stoicism advises us to set clear boundaries. You don't have to continue one-sided relationships where only you carry the burden and sacrifice, while the other person only appears when they need you. This philosophy emphasizes that when you begin to notice the imbalance in a relationship, it's time to have the courage to let it go, not allowing deception to drag you down. Instead of investing time and energy into unbalanced relationships, you can shift your attention and effort to those who truly appreciate and proactively maintain relationships with you. Sometimes the most important thing is learning to let go of relationships that don't provide adequate returns. Then you'll realize you deserve relationships where exchange and care are natural, not a burden. They only focus on themselves. One of the most noticeable signs of an insincere relationship is when the other person only cares about themselves and pays no attention to your feelings and needs. These people often don't listen, don't share, and conversations always revolve around themselves. They turn every meeting into an opportunity to show off their achievements, personal problems, or stories that only concern themselves. This is a clear manifestation of selfishness. These people see others as an audience for their lives, only to serve their psychological needs, not as true friends. They don't value your feelings or needs, simply considering you an object for self-expression. If you feel you're always the listener and never get listened to in return, or feel the conversation only stops at telling their stories, it's a sign you're facing someone who doesn't genuinely care about you. I've encountered such friends. Every time we met, the conversation quickly became a solo performance by them, where I only heard about their successes, difficulties, and problems. I felt tired, with no opportunity to share my feelings or thoughts. Gradually, I realized I was spending time on an asymmetrical relationship, lacking genuine concern from the other person. Stoicism teaches us about humility and selflessness. This philosophy doesn't encourage us to live only for others, but emphasizes that we need to put ourselves in others' shoes to understand and empathize. Focusing on the needs and feelings of others helps us build truly sincere relationships. But that selflessness doesn't mean we have to endure selfishness and lack of concern from others. Stoicism teaches us not only how to make others happy, but also how to identify and protect ourselves from those who don't truly have hearts. They don't deserve a place in your life. When you realize you're in a one-sided relationship like this, it's time to set clear boundaries to protect your peace of mind. You don't have to accept the selfishness of others. Remember, you deserve relationships where both parties share, listen, and care for each other. Ask yourself, does this relationship bring me real value, or is it just a one-sided exchange of emotions? When you identify the signs of selfishness, it's time to decide to let go or change how you deal with that relationship. Only when you can protect yourself can you build strong, sincere, and valuable relationships. They forget what you say. One of the easiest signs to recognize a lack of sincerity in a relationship is when the other person constantly forgets what you've shared. Stories, memories, emotions, and experiences important to you seem to leave no impression on their minds. If someone can't remember what you've said, it's a lack of respect and disregard for your feelings. Remembering small details in a conversation is not just about retaining information, but is a clear sign of caring. When someone truly listens to you, they will remember your stories, your joys, and sorrows you've shared. These seemingly simple things show their appreciation for you. Conversely, if they always forget important details, don't remember the stories you've told, it's a sign they don't value you, or at least don't value your feelings and experiences. I once had a close friend with whom I shared a lot about an important project. I looked forward to her support and advice because I thought she was a trustworthy friend. However, a few weeks later, when I asked her about the project, she didn't remember anything about what I'd shared. This made me feel disrespected and forgotten in her eyes. That feeling really made me think a lot about the sincerity in this relationship. Stoicism teaches us about mindfulness and focus. Listening is not just hearing what others say, but understanding the emotions and thoughts behind those words. Listening with your heart, not just your ears, is an act of respect. When you truly listen and care about others, you will not only remember their words, but also the emotions they convey through each story. Stoic philosophy not only teaches us how to face life's difficulties, but also helps us build strong and meaningful relationships. If someone doesn't value what you share, it's time to reconsider the value of that relationship. Mindfulness and sincere listening are the foundation for building a friendship, love, or any relationship. When you realize you're not valued, it's time to protect yourself and stop wasting time on people who don't appreciate you. Remember, a sincere relationship is always one where both parties strive to listen and understand each other. They always want something from you. In insincere relationships, a clear sign you can recognize is that the person always tries to exploit you to achieve personal goals. These people often show outward concern, but in reality, they only want you to provide something they need, whether it's money, help, or even information. They will constantly ask about your life, but lack attention to your feelings and thoughts. All their questions and actions have their own purposes, not to build a genuine relationship. The distinction between sincere help and exploitation is crucial. A true friend will help you without expecting anything in return, because that help comes from kindness and sincere concern. Conversely, someone who exploits you will only help when it benefits themselves. If you notice that all their actions are aimed at a personal goal, it's a clear sign of deception. I once had a friend who always inquired about my financial situation, and she seemed very interested in my personal finances. At first, I thought it was sincere concern, but after a while, I realized she was trying to borrow money with no intention of repaying it. The feeling of discovering this was truly shocking and disappointing. I spent a lot of time and effort helping her, but in the end, I was just a tool for her to achieve her personal goals. Stoicism teaches us about wisdom and sobriety. One of the core values of Stoic philosophy is the ability to see through the nature of things. We need to learn to clearly perceive the motives of others so as not to be exploited in relationships. Recognizing exploitation isn't always easy, but if you understand the nature of the relationship, you won't be drawn into these manipulative games. Stoicism advises us to build relationships on the foundation of sincerity and freedom. We can help others, but we must always be clearly aware of their motives and protect ourselves from unfair exploitation. When you notice the other person is only trying to take from you and never gives anything back, it's time to set boundaries and protect yourself. They talk badly about you behind your back. One of the most painful acts of betrayal in relationships is when the friend you trust talks badly about you behind your back. This is not only disrespectful, but also shows deceit and dishonesty. When you discover that a close friend has spoken ill of you, it's a clear sign that they don't value you, and this relationship is not worth maintaining. Backstabbing often stems from jealousy, resentment, or sometimes their own insecurity. These people not only lack empathy, but also try to hurt you to feel better about themselves. They may not dare to confront you directly, but use words and manipulation behind your back to reduce their own self-doubt. I've been in such situations, hearing bad things said about me from friends I trusted and shared a lot with. I felt betrayed, and the pain was hard to overcome. Hearing these words from people I had placed my trust in made me question the nature of the relationship and understand that sometimes we can't keep people who don't truly respect us. Stoicism teaches us about calmness and not being affected by the words of others. According to Stoic philosophy, we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our own reactions. Bad-mouthing, whether from friends or those around us, shouldn't change our self-perception. If we let those words affect our mood and emotions, we will lose the inner peace we have built. Stoicism advises us to focus on self-improvement and protecting our souls from negativity. Bad-mouthing is not a reflection of you, but a reflection of the person saying it. We need to learn not to let the comments and criticism from others hurt us, but instead, use those criticisms to grow and become stronger in our life journey. Remaining calm and unaffected will help us maintain self-respect and inner peace, despite the difficulties others create. They act differently with different people. One of the clearest signs of deception is when the person behaves differently with each person depending on the circumstances and relationship. Insincere people often appear friendly and approachable to those with status or power, but indifferent to those who cannot benefit them. This not only shows hypocrisy, but also a lack of honesty in their nature. We can clearly see this in many environments, from the workplace to social situations. These people tend to change their behavior to make a good impression on those who can benefit them, but completely ignore those who cannot help them materially or in terms of status. They use relationships as a tool to achieve personal gain, instead of building sincere and lasting connections. I've witnessed such situations in many workplace relationships where someone appears extremely friendly and attentive to superiors, but indifferent to colleagues or subordinates. These actions not only diminish the value of the relationship, but also clearly reflect a lack of consistency in their character. Stoicism teaches us about honesty and consistency. Stoic philosophy encourages us to live up to our core values and maintain consistency in all circumstances. We need to treat everyone, regardless of status or role, with respect and honesty. These values should not change just for personal gain or circumstantial arrangements. Consistency in action is the key to building trust and respect in relationships. When we act from our hearts and honesty, we can build lasting and meaningful relationships, instead of seeking short-term gains from exploiting others. Stoic philosophy helps us realize that ultimately, only honesty and strong character are what's valuable in life. Through the analysis of the 7 signs above, along with personal stories, practical experiences, and Stoic philosophy, we can realize that deception in relationships is not uncommon. However, only by recognizing these signs can we protect ourselves from unnecessary hurt, thereby regaining inner peace and building sincere relationships. So what should you do when faced with this deception? Focus on yourself. Always develop yourself, improve your skills and knowledge. When you're confident in yourself, you won't feel dependent on others. Set clear boundaries. Know how to say no when necessary. Don't hesitate to refuse unreasonable requests or exploitative relationships. Be selective with friends. Seek out friends who genuinely care about you, those who will always be there to support you. Listen to yourself. Trust your intuition. Never ignore your inner feelings when doubting someone's sincerity. Lower expectations. Don't expect too much from others. This will help you avoid unnecessary disappointments. Practice patience. Sincere relationships cannot be built overnight. Take time and effort to cultivate them. Respect yourself. Always love and protect yourself. Don't let anyone hurt you because you deserve respect and sincerity. Life isn't always rosy, but with clarity, understanding, and confidence, you can overcome any challenge. Remember, the strength of a strong mind is the most powerful weapon against negativity and deception. Always learn to listen to yourself. Trust your intuition and courageously choose relationships that truly deserve your time and energy. Remember, you can change things, starting with yourself. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below the video. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching, and let's create a more sincere and stronger community together. See you in the next videos.